For my biofuel, I chose to go over wood. Wood fuel is a solid lignocellulosic biomass, meaning that it has lignin and cellulose in the cell walls, being defined as a organic material, obviously coming from plants. It was the primary global energy source until the mid 1800s, and today it is used to provide heat, electricity, and sometimes co-fired with coal. In 2023, wood and wood waste accounted for approximately 2.1% of the total U.S. energy consumption. Here you can see some very common fuel types: traditional firewood, which is what most people are going to be accustomed to, very high moisture, low efficiency. You have wood chips, which kind of are varying in density and moisture and efficiency. You have wood pellets, which are very high density and low moisture. So they are compacted and dried. It's very, very good for efficiency. You can see that with very high efficiency, produces more heat per unit mass than any of these other types. They also have bio-block briquettes, so they're very high density, definitely more efficient than logs, very moderate to high efficiency. Wood fuel is often sourced from managed forests. You can see this driving down the road. You see these kind of rowed up trees that are being grown for harvest. Trees absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Being a plant, they do photosynthesis, and they end up being about 50% carbon, which is really good for biomass generation. Some of the responsible sourcing is verified through FSC and SFI certifications to ensure market legitimacy. Then raw wood has very high moisture content, around 45 to 50%, which kind of brings down the efficiency of wood. So to combat that and optimize the wood, preparation requires seasoning or drying for optimal wood production. Wood is often burned to create power. This can be done with coal or without. It's typically done around 200, 300 degrees Celsius. It creates a product called biocoal, which is dense, hydrophobic, and it has a very high energy density. Some of these advanced biofuel pathways, liquid fuels known as sustainable aviation fuel. This is a liquid fuel where wood biomass is converted into a synthesis gas. We also have biochemical and fermentation, which is where these wood chips are converted into sugars, and then these sugars are fermented with almost 100% carbon efficiency. Here we can see solid wood fuel is very widely available. This is oftentimes used in traditional heating applications. We have sustainable aviation fuel, which is basically getting really close to commercial status. It's using wood biomass to fuel jets, which is really, really cool. Then you also have cellulosic biofuels, very early stages of research and development. But it's basically looking at bacteria fermentation to maximize carbon efficiency, which is a really, really be a great step for wood biofuel. We see our carbon footprint and climate impact. There's many nations that treat wood combustion as carbon neutral, which is really odd, as we'll see in a little bit. Wood releases more CO2 per kilowatt hour of electricity than any of the other fossil fuels. This creates an immediate carbon debt in the atmosphere. You can see some sustainability tests there looking at payback time. There is some economic dependencies with wood pellet production. You can see, for example, the UK provided approximately 2 billion euros in wood pellet subsidies in 2017 alone. The market is supposed to grow for wood production or wood fuel market. It is projected to grow by $10 billion almost by 2028. Social impact, you have a public health crisis. The U.S. biomass burning facilities emit on average 3 times the amount of pollution as traditional fossil fuel facilities. This higher concentration of toxic air disproportionately impact local poor and minority communities near these manufacturing facilities. Because of this pollution, even though the communication to the public kind of focuses on the green aspect of waste wood, it creates a very low public trust. Wood fuel is only a climate solution if it can kind of get rid of these emissions. And so as a action plan, I think we need to implement bioenergy with carbon capture and storage, known as BECCS. We need to mandate this carbon capture on all industrial facilities. We need to enforce health standards that create better air quality, and we need to restrict sourcing and only fund feedstocks with a maximum of 10-year payback period. And here are some citations that I used for my research today.